Good morning, everyone. I know we're a bit early, but there's a couple of things I want to talk about. First of all, I do apologize severely. I may have made a big boo-boo, and in the last video I uploaded, said that today we were going to swatch as well as do the ColorMorphia, and that is wrong. I'm not going to swatch today. That is tomorrow at noon Pacific Standard Time. So I do apologize profusely. I did remove that. So if you haven't seen it, ignore this. If you have seen it, I am so sorry. What we're going to be doing today, of course, is ColorMorphia's Kerby Rosanes. And we will be finishing off this picture today, hopefully. We will have to see. Hi, Deb. How are you? Yay, I'm glad you made it. We're going to wait and see how many more people jump in. Hi, Tamara. Hi, Beth. So how is everybody this morning? You all have your coffees and everything else all ready to go? Hi, Kelly. So I'm going to open this up. Hopefully I don't hit the camera. And as you can see, I finished off the green, like I said I was going to. Oh, another thing I was going to let you know about is Nightbot. Nightbot is our way of doing our contests, as well as letting you guys know that you can support us with donation and all that fun stuff. You drank all your tea. Well, you better go get some more. No, it didn't freeze. I'm still here. Maybe your computer froze. Well, you know, bathroom trips are allowed too, just not for me. Unless you're going to take over the coloring for me and I'll turn on your camera and you can do it for me. I want to see yours anyway. Did yours freeze, Tamara? Oh, that's a little bit emphatic there, Deb. Oh, well, I'm still here. We haven't started yet. I've colored all of the green on all the leaves and everything and got that all ready for you. Yeah, it's coming along pretty good for a pen that I wasn't sure of and was going to send back. I think it's turning out pretty nice. Now, I'm not sure what to do the colors on the mask area and that sort of thing. I have a couple of ideas for everything else, but I'm not positive on this area here. So if you have any suggestions. I don't know if there's pics in this book that are not in his other books. I know this is in several of his books. It could be. It could very well be, Tamara, that this does have pictures for or has bits of all his other books. I have this one and one other one, and I do believe this is in a couple of them. So what suggestions do you have for me for these sorts of things? I was thinking of doing a couple of experiments because why not? One of the experiments I was thinking of doing was taking this purple, I think it's this one, this light purple, if I can get it out of this box. I'm not sure I like this box very much. Okay, so yes, this is the lilac that we did all these other flowers with. And going with the blue, I think that was the ice blue that we did that with. And touching them together and going for a gradual from purpley, light purpley color to a light blue color. What do you guys think? Don't y'all talk at once now. So let's try this out. I'll grab a spare sheet of paper here. Let's try not to bump you too bad. And we'll see. Now this is a thin printer paper, so we'll put it under. You guys can look at my mess. This is my experimental page. So let's see how this is going to look. Well, try not to think too hard. We have fire season right now, Tamara. We don't need any fires. So we're going to just touch these together. Until the blue takes over a bit. I was told that this works really well, so let's see if it does. And then we're going to color. I think I put too much blue on there. So let's put a little bit less blue on there so that we can graduate it. So let's try it this way. So which one looks better? Hi, Michaela. I hope I said your name right. If not, I'm so sorry. I think adding the purple to the blue and going into the blue looks better. What do you think? Let's switch you over to the other camera so you can see better. Just 1 second here. Let's move it up here so you can see it. Yes, you're looking at my phone. Just 1 sec. There you go. Let's take away that. There you go. So which one do you think looks better? I'm trying to get you out of the shadow there. From the purple into the blue or from the blue into the purple? Yes, those are absolutely wonderful skin tones. Yeah, they're one of my favorites. Purple into the blue? Yeah, that's what I think too, Kelly. Blue to purple. I think I'm going to put the purple on the blue. And do this again. Of course, now I've got the blue onto the purple. And of course you can go back and forth too, so. Hey monkey, how are you doing today? So like this. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so we're just going to touch these nibs together and see if I can do it without fuzziness. Come on, focus. I don't know why the autofocus is on this. I have turned it off several times, and for some reason the autofocus keeps turning back on. There we go. Let's bring it down there so that you can see it. So if you do this with your pens, you will see the blue, the color change on the tip of the pen to the blue. I don't know if you can see it very well. And I'm going to move you over here so we can take a look. Let's move that. And we're going to experiment. So we're going to maybe do this area here. And we'll just color until it starts going into the purple. And hopefully by the center, it would have gone into the purple. And then we'll do it again and we'll work the other way so that the purple is in the center of the tooth line, which is here. So don't put a lot on it because we're not going to need it from here over. So we just need a little bit to do that little tiny edge there. Not quite enough blue there. Okay, so I'm going to switch pens because that's not enough blue on there. There we go. That looks pretty cool. What do you think? I know you're upside down. Let's turn that a bit for you so that you're not upside down. And of course, you're in the shadow now too, so. Hi, Pamela. These are the Faber-Castell Pitt pens with the brush nibs. It's not the soft Pitt pens, it's just the Pitt pens. Okay, so we're going to move down to the bottom here. I know you guys are upside down and I'm really sorry. I'm trying to keep you out of the shadow so that you can actually see what's going on and keep my hands out of your way. Okay, so once again, we're going to just touch the tips, get one tip to change color. And then we'll start over here. And move it along. That works out pretty well. Okay, and we're going to do it again from the other side with the blue because it's got a bit of the purple on it. So get the purple off of it and then we'll touch it back so that we can do it gradual. If my hand is in the way, just shout at me. I'm trying to keep it out of your way, but okay. How does that look, guys? Wish the camera wasn't so bad. Yes, I have done it with the Cali Art brush markers. That was the mess that I had all over that paper, was the Cali Art markers. Okay, so that's that part. So, of course, we've got to do the flames up here on the head as well. If you're in the Facebook group and you've seen my Phoenix girl, the Hannah, oh, I can't remember her last name now. I colored a Phoenix girl, and all the reds and oranges and yellows in her wings and everything is done with the Cali Art markers. Okay, so we're just going to start down here, and we're just going to color until the purple comes through. Just give it that gradual effect of the purple coming through. You can see it better on these bigger spaces. Thin tip. So what are they called? Fine liners. Is that what we're talking about, Tamara? Cool. I don't have very many fine liners. I don't use them very often. This Castle Arts set that I have, I bought the big one because it was on sale. And it was on sale for a really good price. So I have a bunch of fine liners with it that I've been playing with as well. Okay. So that gives a really nice effect. I like that. And of course, all you have to do to clean that off your brush pen is just to color with it a little bit. The ink will come down and wipe it away. We're going to play with something else today. Today is full of learning experiences. What I want to do with the rest of the skull is use some pan pastels. So I will be showing you my pan pastel tool collection. I have all different kinds of tools I have experimented with these pan pastels that I was given for my birthday and that I have bought. I'm going to move you over just a touch. Let it focus. Now, as you go along with the pens and touching them together like that, you'll see that the blue pen will start getting more purple on it, and the purple pen won't be able to pick up that blue so much. So just use the blue pen until the purple's all gone, and then you'll be able to go back and forth again. And vice versa. You'll see if you're using your purple pen, you'll see that there's a lot of blue on it. So use up the blue that's on the purple pen. And basically all I'm doing here is just getting the purple off of my blue. It's a little bit of a waste of ink, but it's a cool effect. Now for the dots, oh, I missed a spot. Come back here. For the dots, I think we're going to go with the darker purple that we used there. Oh, Amazon at the door. You have to answer that one. You know, if it was the neighbor or anything or anybody bleeding, then you might not have a, you know. Well, hopefully we have lots of people in with us today. Just to let you know what's going on tomorrow, we have a set of 150 master color pencils that we're going to go through and chat and have coffee. So the other one that we used, if you remember, is the crimson. And I'm just going to color these dots with the crimson. Nothing fancy, just going to color the dots with it. Well, of course. Hubbies get things too. Yeah, exactly, Deb. Is anybody bleeding? Then don't answer it. We're coloring here. Thank you. I think it's turning out pretty good, you know, for something that, for using a medium that I wasn't used to, didn't like a whole lot. But it's always a learning curve, especially with a new thing. Some things are easier to learn than others. Another bobblehead? I have a Bob Ross bobblehead. I'll show you in a second here. My husband got it for me as a gag gift at Christmas. And I love it. It's so cool. It's the only one I have of a bobblehead, though. Okay, so we're going to move down here. Like I said, my hand will probably get in your way, and I am so sorry. Okay. I think that's all the dots. Does anybody else see any dots? Nope. Okay. But I'll switch over to this other camera. I'm gonna There you go. Move that. I'll show you my bobblehead. It's right here on my desk. Well, it's not really a bobblehead, I guess. It's one of the Marvel Pop figurines. Let's see if I can get him out of this package so that you can see him better. He's so cool. I guess he does have a bobblehead, doesn't he? It is Deadpool Bob Ross. Isn't that cool? I love him. I don't mind my husband doing gag gifts with that. Okay. Isn't he cute? I love him. But that's the only one I have, is the Deadpool Bob Ross. And he lives in his box on my desk, along with another gag gift that my husband got me for Christmas. Because we always do that. We find little funny things and we give them to each other for Christmas. And the other gag gift I got, and he's never been out of his box, so I'm not going to take him out of his box, is a feisty pet. And I love this little guy because some days I just feel like this. And he sits on my desk like this. Yeah, I don't think 5,000 of them would be very good. Let's see if I can get him to not be angry anymore. But he's just so cute. He's called a feisty pet. And he's done by her name is Glenda Glitterpop. And yeah, she goes from sad to very angry. All right, so we've got the markings done on the skull. I think we need to do the butterflies. Got a couple of butterflies here that we need to do. And these little things here, I'm not quite sure what they are or what color to color them. So if you have any suggestions, throw it up there. I'm just going to make sure I have everybody's chat up so I can see everybody. All right. Hey, Dan. Oh, well, if you're working, then I'll let you. I was actually going to message you earlier, but I figured it out. Was your daughter going to join us today or maybe the next one? Yeah, I think so. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're just little doodles or if they're fun little things. Well, if she wants to join us, she can either join us on my private channel there or here on Coloritaville. I'll be running this for about another half an hour or so. If not, she can join us for the next one. Maybe the next one I can get her set up better. Okay, so this one here, I think we're going to color a nice green color. What colors do we have in green? Maybe we'll go with a bit of cobalt green and then go over it with the lighter color. Yes, I was thinking yellows and pinks with the butterflies. There's not a lot of pinks in this. Unfortunately, I wish there was more pink. I think the closest thing to pink we have, other than the hot pink, the purple pink, And the reddish pink is a lilac. The lilac that we've already used is the lightest that we have. But I was definitely thinking of yellows and pinks. You know, do a pink and a blue and a yellow and an orange. And there's another one up here as well. Yeah, exactly. That's why there's not a lot on the page, because there isn't a lot in the set. You know, I did these in with the Faber-Castell polychromos, because that's how little of pinks there are. So I want to do these in, let's see, maybe it was, yeah, maybe we'll do them in this, the light cobalt turquoise. You see that? Sometimes they put white on these pens and it makes it really difficult to see. If you want me to switch back to that other camera, let me know if you're not able to see very well this way. And I'm just going to do the edges of him in this. Yeah, that's what you were saying, is that the Dick Blick pencils are really good with the polychromos. If I miss you in chat, I'm sorry. I'm not ignoring you. I just am glancing up and trying to see how chat is doing. Okay, so I'm just doing the very edges of this little fella. Maybe I'll do his eyes. And then I'll go around with that lighter blue, the ice blue, and just bring it in together. Give him a little bit of texture. There we go. But tomorrow, when we do the master's pencil swatching, now that bled out a little bit, took out a bit of color in there. So I'm just going to cover this with a bit of a darker blue, and I'll go over it and put little eye bits. This is the cobalt turquoise that I just went over that with, just to make his eyes come out a little bit more. And I think these little tiny spots here, I'll take the yellow and we'll do it in, which one's this? No, just in the regular cadmium yellow, which is a bit of an orangey color. If I can get it out of here. And we'll just do them. It's a brighter yellow with a bit of an orange in it. And we'll just do these little spots with it, just like a little bit of pollen flying around. And I think I missed a leaf down here. Not sure if that's a leaf or a part of his jaw. What do you guys think? Right down here. I'm not sure. Hold on a second. Let me see. I have worlds within worlds, so just give me a second. I'll pull it out and see if it's smaller. You think it's a leaf? Okay, so here's the world within worlds. No, it's about the same size. Yeah, it's about the same size. This book is the ColorMorphia by Kerby Rosanes. It's this book here. And I've been told that this picture is in a lot of different books as well. So you think that's a leaf? Okay. Then I need to grab a bit of green. I think I'm going to grab permanent. No, I want this one. So I'm going to grab a bit of May green. I'm just going to go around the edges of this other leaf here, just to give it the shadow. If my hand is in the way, yell at me. Well, don't yell, because Nightbot might yell back. Yeah, it doesn't have any shading, but I'm going to put the shading in. So it doesn't look like a part of the jaw, like down here it's got that dark shadowing for the indentation of the jaw. I'm just going to do a bit of the shading on it so that everything has a little bit of a shadow. And then I'm going to take, I do believe it's this one. Oh, of course, I'm going to throw it on the floor. Hold on a sec. Sorry about that. Oh, that's a long way down for a short person. Oh, what color is this? This is a light phthalo green. I can never say that properly. Phthalo. And we're just going to go over the area that we colored a bit, as well as color the light bits that we want to have show up later, just to darken that shadow a bit and bring it all together. Cookies, are they gluten-free, sugar-free, and dairy-free? If they are, I want some. I hate having dietary restrictions. Everything just becomes no fun after that. Okay, so that's one happy little leaf done. And I think it has enough of a shadow that... No, that's a rice cake, yeah, pretty much. Just about as bland, too. All right, so let's start on these butterflies. I think we're going to do... we'll do that cadmium yellow and orange glaze on, let's see, which butterfly should we do that on? So there's some yellow down by this butterfly, more so than by this butterfly. And this butterfly has no yellow around it at all. So I think we'll do it with this butterfly up here. And what to do when you live in a shoe. I think we will do the yellow on the inside. I know, you move to a boot and get laced. That's what you do when you live in a shoe. Hi, Barb. These are the Faber-Castell pens, the same ones I was using last time. Okay. Sometimes with these I find I'll be coloring along, and I found it with the greens when I was doing the green. and it looked terrible. It just looked horrible. So I went outside and I relaxed for a second, and I came back in after it had dried a bit, and it looked fabulous. So sometimes you just have to let it dry and just go over it a bit for those areas that didn't quite get enough color. I find all sorts of things with these pens sometimes. Like I said, these are really new to me. This is actually the first full picture that I have colored with them. So I bought them on a whim. I saw them on sale and thought, I have seen some gorgeous things produced with those. I wonder if I can too. Well, the first picture I did, I was so mad with the way that they colored for me that I was ready to send them back. No, these markers do not bleed. They are an India ink, so they do not bleed through the paper like an alcohol marker will. Yeah, I found these ones on sale for, I think it was $400 off. So at that point, I thought, what the heck? Might as well have a fabulous set of pens that hopefully I'll use. But because I bought them on sale and bought them in a clearance section, when I contacted the person I bought them from, this is a bit of black, and I'm just going to color the body here. Now this is one of the other Pitt pens that they have out, and this is a different nib. This is not a brush nib. This is a bullet nib. This set that I bought has all different nibs. It has some fine liners, it has some bullet nibs, it has, oh, and it comes in this absolutely beautiful box. Sometimes it's a bit of a pain, and it's very large. Hold on a sec, maybe I'll move you around here so that you can see it. You're going to get jostled a bit, so I do apologize. Okay, let's see. And you're going to see my floor. Let's see if I can get you over there. So this is the set that I have. And these ones up here are fine liners, metallic bullets, and oh, what are they? Calligraphy. Over here, some more fine liners. And down here are the brush pens. And that's my show and tell. But I found them on sale for a little bit less than $200. And I thought, what a deal. And I bought them. And I couldn't send them back, so I better learn how to use them. All right, now we've got this little fella done up here. Now we're going to do this little one down here, and I'm going to use my little fine liner. And it's called Middle Purple Pink. I'm just going to go around the edge because this is such a small area. You can use the very tip of the brush pen for this. If you want a close-up of that, let me know, and I will switch over to the other camera. I'm just trying to keep my hand out of your guys' way and still actually color the picture. Uh-oh, hubby ate your cookies. See, I have a intestinal disorder, so I can't eat what the other people in my house can eat. So they stay out of my stuff. I buy them their own stuff I can't eat, so they stay out of mine. Why can you not color today? Okay, so this is Pink Matter Lake. I'm just gonna fill it in a bit. It's a darker pink. That was another thing that irritated me, is when these are wet, they look very close to the same color. When they dry, they'll lighten up a bit. And I think what I'll do is I'll take a bit of gel pen and maybe put some dots or something on this pink one just to give it a bit of more color. Yeah, no. That's one of the reasons why my husband has his own room, and he keeps all his stuff in his room. And I think this one down here we're going to do. Should we do a Shaka color? Because we haven't got a lot of reds in there. Should we do this one here and some red? Give it a bit of a Shaka color. That's definitely one threat. Yeah, tell them Goodwill will move them for you. Absolutely. All right. So what do you guys think on the red? Color this one in reds. Maybe a little bit of red and blue. Purple and blue. What do you think? Or maybe this color, this peachy color. I think this peachy color might be good. Let's do that. Or there's coral. I've got coral too. What one is this? Come here, you. Nope, that's. Of course, the peachy one is what they call pale pink. And it is not even close to pink. Let's see, where is it? I can't find it now. Actually, yeah, I've got another butterfly. It's not a dragonfly, but a butterfly here at the bottom that I need to figure out the color for. That's what I'm working on. Trying to figure out. There's pale pink. I do not. Well, I have this one here, but it's a butterfly on my page. Not sure if you can see it. It could be a dragonfly, but it looks like a butterfly. I'm going to switch you over to the other camera just so you can get a close-up of it. So it's right here. Dragonflies have more of a rounded, more of a longer body. It's a butterfly to me, but that's what I'm coloring it as. If you want to color it as a dragonfly, by all means, All right, so let's, okay. Like I said, the great thing about coloring is it's all up to interpretation. What I call a butterfly, others don't. So to me, it's a butterfly, and that's what I'm coloring it as. Okay, it's a small moth. Okay, so I've got this peachy color on it, and I think I'm going to just add a couple of spots with the lilac. And just bring in a little bit of lilac into it there. Exactly. Everybody colors everything differently. It doesn't matter what color you or what you see. It matters only to the colorist of what they want to color it as. Okay, so I'm going to color this body in, I think, nougat. Give it a bit of a brown color instead of the black. And of course, I'll take a nice little white pen and give it an eye and whatnot. Okay, so that is everything colored in the floral area. I think I'm going to switch you back over to the other camera here so that we can take a look and discuss what we need to do further. So just one sec. There we go. Let's move that out of the way. All right, so the next thing we need to do, I think, is give the definitions here a little bit more darkness. And I'm going to do that with because of what I'm going to do with the pan pastels. I'm going to do that with a dark blue. Because what I'm going to do with the pan pastels is I'm going to take this light blue, some white. I'm going to graduate from white to light blue into dark blue. And I'm going to bring it all the way back. So it's going to start off white down here into a lighter blue to the end of where I believe the skull will be into some dark blues. What do you think of that? We'll see how that works out. All right. Of course, my hands are in the way there. Okay. So we'll take the dark blue, I think probably this one, which is a bright dark blue, and just give it a little bit of life in those areas. And then we'll play with our pan pastels, if you're all ready for that. I know I didn't warn you about that, did I? Everybody's scrambling around trying to get their pan pastels out now. So we're just going to give this a bit of color in those areas that aren't blackened. Well, you know where the Amazon is, lady. Make sure you hit the affiliate link and okay. And of course you can do this with the pens. I just really like my pan pastels too, and it's easier to cover larger areas with the pan pastels than it is with the pens. Now if you don't go down far enough into the black, you will see little white spots. So make sure that you get right down into that, the ends of those little lines. Not that white spots are horrible, but... And I might even take a chalk pastel and go over those black areas just to make them darker and bring them into the blue a bit, just to give them a little bit more depth than the printer ink is giving them. Thought you had some pan pastels, Deb. Well, why would you not be coloring pictures in the book, Tamara? Have books without coloring pictures in them. Well, there is recordings of the previous colorings on the website, is on the YouTube. I know you have just a few. Which colors do you have, Deb? Okay, so that's the eyes done with this dark blue. And we're going to go into these areas here as well, where the shadow is. Just down to the end of the line there. Now, of course, you can do your page any way you want to do it. You can color it in any fashion you want, with any colors you want, with any mediums you want. This is strictly just a color and chat. You can follow along. You can do your own thing. I am happy to have your company. Well, I will be glad to take a look at it, and can't wait to see what you do with it. You don't need to mention me at all. You do your thing. And I will definitely take a look at it and watch you do it, because some of the things you do with your pens and with your gel pens and everything else is just fantastic. I don't know how you get gel pens to look so good. They always look streaky to me. All right, Kimberly, thank you so much for joining us. I will try to post a little video when it's all done so that people can see how it's all finished up if I don't get it finished up today. Well, thank you so much, Tamara. That's so appreciated. Yes, yeah, definitely need to let it dry between colors. Otherwise, you end up peeling the page off. And that's why I'm doing little tiny strokes and just taking a minute and reading the conversation. Otherwise, you end up with the page not working too well. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, definitely with gel pens. Um, I do little things with gel pens. I did one picture where I used the jelly roll, the glazes, to do the balloons, and oh my goodness, the amount of time that it took just to wait and let them dry and then correct anything that went wrong. And oh, I don't know how you have the patience for it sometimes. Wow, that's a long time, long dry time. So all I'm doing is I'm just going through and coloring all these areas that are in the shadow of the skull with this dark blue, just to give it definition of where it is. And so that it stands out against the lighter blue that we're going to color in, we're going to put in that area. Oh yeah, absolutely. You have to, with those glazes, you definitely have to let them dry before you try to do anything else, or it just peels right off the paper. It gets all gloopy, and oh, I had to redo that picture so many times. And I was so excited to get the gel pens, the jelly rolls, and I was so happy to get them. And I used them on a couple of little things, and I thought, oh, I want to do an entire picture with them. This would look great with balloons. Not so much. Now, this is where you get to fix some of those areas that I messed up. And I just messed up again. Oh, great. I just colored the leaf that I didn't want to color. I wanted to color in between the leaves, and I just colored the leaf. Oh well. C'est la vie. The great thing about messing up is only you know, unless you're doing it live on camera. If you're doing it live on camera, the whole world knows. But oh well. Just to throw that out there, this is not an instructional video. This is just me coloring and chatting with our community and getting to know you guys a little bit better. You know, if I teach you something, great. If you teach me something, fantastic, because I need it. Otherwise, it's just for fun. Like I said, I got these pens and didn't know what to do with them, and just thought, well, maybe there's other people out there that know a little bit more than me that can teach me how to use them a little bit better. Oh, cool. Oh, great idea. It'd be a good picture for gel pens because there's a lot of little small areas as well as some of the bigger areas. So can't wait to see what you do with it. Alrighty. Sorry about the dead air. Sometimes I just get involved in the coloring and am concentrating on what I'm doing so I don't end up messing up. There's a lot of these little blue areas that I want to have blue. But like I said, you know, it's a learning curve. Everything's a learning curve. And everybody, you know, there are so many different people that have so many different ways of doing things that you can't say that you know everything. You know, somebody else out there knows one thing that you don't know, and you can learn from them. You can learn from anybody. Sometimes we just don't want to learn from people. All right, I think we've got halfway through. We've got the bigger areas. I'm not quite sure what this is here. You see these little swirly lines here? I'm not sure if that is a part of the skull or if that's a plant, or what do you guys think? Should I just color it blue and call it done? Call it a part of the skull? Of course, you know, I could cheat and look at the other picture and see what somebody else has done with it, because it is in the front of the book. That's probably what I did to get the idea of doing this blue. Yeah, right here. This piece right here. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, was it was maybe a cheekbone. But that might be, yeah, we'll color it. Yeah, could be. Maybe it's that little swirly area in the ear. I'm going to color it blue anyway. These are really, in larger areas, a little bit scratchy. Sometimes they feel a little. And another thing I have noticed since using these, the first time I used them, they were so stiff. But the more I use them, it seems the less stiff they are and more brush-like, where when I first started using them, they were so scratchy. And scratchy drives me crazy. Okay, so got a little bit more up here. of the darker blue. Okay, so my hand is going to get in your way if I do it that way. So I'm going to move you over here. And like I said, I did look at one of the videos and pictures that isn't, well, I guess it's not a video, it's a picture that is in the front of the book for this picture, and really like the blue effect that they put on it. And of course I didn't look at that before I colored the flowers and everything, and then I was flipping through the book and saw it and went, oh, that looks really good together. But to me, flowers should be light and airy. And with this, with these pit pastels, they don't have a lot of light and airy colors. So I colored the flowers with as many light and airy colors as I could find. Okay, so I think that's it for the dark blue. I'm going to do these little lines here just to give it the definition that you want. Oh, missed a spot. Well, the teeth, I'm not sure if I'm going to do a dark blue. What do you think? Should I do the teeth with a dark blue? I was thinking maybe a warm gray. And I forgot to color that butterfly's body. Well, I think I'm going to grab walnut brown and do this little guy's body. Yeah, I can do that. Oh, that's dark indigo. Okay, so the teeth, I think I'm going to do, let's see, what colors do we have here? Warm gray 3. And this one here, it's really hard to see with the white lettering. Even on the close-up, it's going to be hard to see. So I'm just going to do these areas of the teeth just to give it some dimension. In the warm gray. I have lots of sparkly glitter pens. Another thing I was thinking with the teeth, I think I still might do some of it with this after I get the gray on there. is maybe go over a couple of them with gold. And you guys probably don't have the gold pit pens, but they're not really the brush pit pens. They're a metallic bullet pen. And I think some of these back ones here, this back one right here should be gold. What do you think? Give it a gold tooth. Should I do any other ones in gold? Or do them all in gold? Anybody? Nobody? Is anybody else left out there? There's 4 people watching me. Okay. Well, I think that is that. Yeah, I like the gold too. Do you think I should put any other ones gold or just the one? Yeah. And after I work with the pastels, I can't do it without working with the pastels. Yeah. What about this one? You think that one should be gold? I think one in the front should be gold. I think this big one here. Okay. Okay, so that one's gold too. You're just waiting for that mailman to bring you something. Of course you're expecting things, so you're not going to get them today. You'll have to wait till Monday. All right, so we've got this far, and unfortunately it's already 11:15 my time, so I'm not sure what that is everybody else's time. I don't know if we'll get into the pan pastels today. We might have to finish it off another day. What do you guys think? Should I delve into it and get it all finished today, or? Yes, it's 1:15 where you are, Deb. Everybody is so far ahead of me. I'm in the past. So what do you think? Should I get this finished up today and use the pan pastels on it today, or should I finish it up and just show you all what it looks like? Well, there's one for whatever I want to do. How about you guys? Another one game for going on? All right. Well, that's 2 against 2. So you're in the same time zone as Deb. Okay, so, well, there's 4 people here and only 2 voting, and they say go for it. So here we go. Now you're going to hear background noises and whatnot because it is getting later in the day and the kids are getting up and moving around and the husband is up and moving around. Now, one of my favorite things to use, and this is going to be noisy because they're all wrapped up, with my pan pastels are these. These are makeup brushes. And they are a very tight makeup brush. And I have a whole set of these that I bought on Wish for very, very cheap. And what I like about them is you can use the big ones to cover really large areas. They hold the pastel really well. As you can tell, I've used this one, and they wash out brilliant, like beautifully. You can wash them right out, let them dry, and they're ready to go for next time. They don't transfer any other color. So that's one of my secret weapons with pan pastels. And I have all sorts of them. There's long skinny ones, there's short skinny ones, there's little tiny ball ones, there's a larger ball one, and they all work wonderfully with the pan pastels. So that's one of my tricks with the pan pastels. Another one, and I've told some people about this one, is on Amazon. You can buy large lots of throwaway disposable eyeshadow applicators. And I use a lot of these, especially when I'm doing small areas where I just want just a little tiny bit, where I don't want to, drag it across an area that I've colored. Another thing that my mother told me about, of course, for doing large areas and large backgrounds with the pan pastels or any pastels, are these things. And everybody knows what these are. These are cotton rounds. And you can fold them up into little tiny corners to get little tiny areas, or just do large areas. They're very versatile, and they spread that pastel really nicely as well. And then, of course, we have the tools that come with it. Now, I don't use these a lot. The big ones I use, but these little ones are really hard to get onto the applicators. And I just lose patience with them, and they tear. They say it's easy. It's not. But they do work. And once you get them on the applicator, you can get into really tight little crevices with them, or into large flat areas. But they do work. I just don't use them. I don't like them very much. Okay, so the colors that we are going to use today for this area is this blue and some white. If I can get the lid off. And of course, remember, after doing your work with your pastels, remember to spray it, because there is nothing worse than getting all your pastel work done. See how much that holds. Getting all your pastel work done and ending up blowing it all. Now, you are going to get some on your colored areas. And usually what I do at that point, after I'm done with the pastel, is I will go across with a applicator, with one of these eyeshadow applicators, and just wipe it off. Just like this. And it will just come right off. Another thing you can do is use an eraser, and it will just wipe right off. Okay, so we're just going to color this area here with the white a little bit. And then we're going to take the very, very small brush. Where's my littlest one? I think this is the littlest one. Because I don't want to get too much of the light blue on anything. So what you do is you just bring that around, get that going, and then just grab a little bit of the light blue and just touch it. Like I said, anything that you end up putting the color on that you don't want it on, you can easily erase it off. Now what I'm doing is I'm just applying it a little bit, and I'm smudging it in just enough for a little bit of the color to get in there. And then I will go over it with my duster brush, and I will knock it all the excess off. And I will go around with the eraser and I'll erase what I don't want on there. No, I don't. It must be in my robe in my bedroom. Sorry about that. I had a child asking me for something. You're my child. He says I'm not a child. He's 26. But he's still my child. So this pastel color is, let's see, I'll put a lid on it so I don't dump it all over the place. Because I've used this brush, it's a little loose in there. This one here is Falafel, it's blue tint, number 560.8. The white is just a white. I don't know if it has a name other than titanium white. And the blue, dark blue here that I'm going to use is ultramarine blue. And I'm going to join them with this one. And that's the turquoise shade. So I'm going to take the light blue, and then I'm going to go into the turquoise shade, and then I'm going to go into the dark blue. If you don't have the light blue, but you have white and the dark blue, you can, of course, wash out the dark blue a bit to get the light blue. Oh, the turquoise is just a graduator so that you're not going from really dark to really light. You don't particularly need it. Like I said, if you want to go from the dark blue to the light blue, just use a bit of white to dull down the dark blue just so that you can graduate into it a little bit. Now this looks messy to start with because, like I said, you're going to go over top of your work, and you'll go back over it with an eraser and wake those colors up again. Just don't press too hard with your eraser, otherwise you will end up with a mess. All right. So I think we've got enough of the light blue there. We're going to take a bit of this turquoise and wake it up a bit. Just go into the light blue areas a little bit. Because we're going to start going into the dark blue here. Like I said, it's not going to look the prettiest to start with until you go through and clean it off. Oh, I should have done a little bit more light blue down here. Going into there. All right, now we're going to take our dark blue and we're just going to go into some of the little areas that we've already gone into. And if you find that you're getting a lot of dust come off, just go back, knock off your applicator and pick those up so that you can blend them in. It'll be a lot easier once we get into the larger areas to show the coverage better. Into these areas. Like I said, it's just going to look a little messy until we get it all dusted off and worked into the page. You know, we're going to have little bits of white. Little bits of white glow in the crevices because we're not getting all the way in there, and that's what we want. We don't want to have too much right up against like the flowers and that sort of thing. We want to give it that glow. Just make sure when you're doing things like this, if you do get some of the pigment on the flowers that you don't want it on, don't rub it in. Just blow it off after you're done. You know, like for here, for example, I've rubbed in between, but I tried not to rub on the flowers. And there still will be a little bit on the flowers, but like I said, it'll be a lot easier to remove with the eraser if I don't rub it in. Like these areas down here, I'm just putting enough pigment that I can get it into those areas. And in really tight areas like this, you will end up going over your stuff. Don't worry about it. It is easily removed. You just have to have patience with it. And that's one thing I found with pan pastels, well, with any pastel work, is if you don't have the patience with it, you're just going to end up with a mess. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time just to get the colors to move the way you want them to, and get the effect that you want. Now the effect we want on the edges, of course, is an upward brushing effect of that skull moving forward. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do with that small one. Now I'm going to take my big brush. Where is it? So I have this big brush here. And what I do with this big brush is I just brush it all off. And that takes off whatever excess I had. Of course, there's still some on areas that I don't want it, so I will take that off after. But I'm going to finish this off first, because what I want to do is I want to do this. And I want to give it this effect of movement. And of course, that's the trade-off for that, being able to cover large areas like that with pastels, is you get the trade-off of having to do a little bit extra work with an eraser to remove the pastel off the smaller areas if you've used it across an entire picture. Okay. Of course, do not seal this until you've gone over your flowers and everything else with your eraser to erase anything that you don't want where it is. Now I want this area here a little bit bluer, I think. So I'm just going to take a little bit more of that light blue and rub it in. Okay, let's take this and dust it off. Now we're going to take our eraser. What did I do with that? I pulled it out specifically because it works really good for this. Well, thank you. Now, as you can see, this eraser, it's just the Prisma pointed eraser. It doesn't remove the ink. I'm not pressing really hard, but it removed all of that from the eye. In the larger areas, you can use this kind of eraser. In the smaller areas, I would suggest this eraser. It's a little more tedious, but gives you the same effect. And it just erases that pigment off of the areas that you don't want it to be. And brings that color back to life. And still leaves the colors from the pan pastels in the areas that you want it to be. Try not to drag your arms or anything like that across where you want it. Otherwise, you will end up rubbing the pan pastel off, and you'll have to go over it again. It's kind of difficult to do when trying to do it on camera because the camera is kind of stationary. One of these days I'll figure out how to attach my camera to my book so I can turn my book and still show you what I'm doing. Okay. So as you can see, it's just taking off that layer of pastel that you don't want on it. And that's how I do pastel work. It may be right, it may be wrong. There may be better ways of doing it, but that's how I do it. And that's the way I've found that it works the best for me. Now in yellows and stuff like that, you might have to push a little bit harder on the eraser because the yellow will pick up the blue more. But it's not going to take off your ink. Now if you're doing this on colored pencil, be a little bit more careful when you're pressing down because it will erase your colored pencil. What I suggest if you're going to do this over colored pencil, and what I do, is I color everything, I take it out, I spray it with the fixative, let the fixative dry, then do the pastel work, because then when you do the erasing, the colored pencil is already fixed in place. So it's not going to erase your colored pencil. Does that make sense? That's what I do anyway. I could use the big eraser for these areas. I just already had this one in my hand, so. And of course you'll get eraser bits all over the place, but it cleans it up quite nicely. Okay, well, what I'll do is I'll clean this all up and I'll spray it, and then I will post it in our Facebook page. Now, our Facebook page, if you're not already a member, is Cozy Coloring Corner at Coloritaville. If you want to see the finished product, I will post it there. But I think we're going to say goodbye for the day. Now that we've got that on there, I don't think you want to sit here all day and watch me erase. But all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the eraser and I'm just going to go over the areas that I've got the pigment on that I don't want the pigment on. And just get those all cleaned up, and then I will spray it with a fixative and it will be done. And that's the final stages of that. If you want to take a look at it in its final stages. And like I said, I will go over it with the eraser and remove areas that I don't want to have the pigment. And we will post it, and hopefully y'all enjoy it and had fun coloring it. I can't wait to see everybody else's. Thanks so much, Tamara. Thanks for joining me. I am so happy that you guys came to visit and got to help me color this. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining. I will definitely post this after it's all finished. Like I said, I'm just going to finish up the erasing and touching up some of the pan pastel areas, and then I will post it. I'll add a couple of bits of glitter pen and other little tidbits throughout it just to liven it up a bit and get it all posted out there for you. I would be so happy if everybody else that is coloring along with me would post with me. That'd be great too. Can't wait to see what you guys have all done. I'm so happy to have had this time with you, and we will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we will be doing another color and chat but tomorrow we're going to swatch the 150 colored pencils for the master set and do a little bit of a color along with those. Have a couple of prizes. So, of course, you have to be active in chat. That little Nightbot fellow that has been spamming you every 15 minutes is going to help us out by doing our draws for us and our contests for us. So I'm glad he's working. Anything else that you guys want to see done on the channel or in color alongs or anything like that, leave me a message. Of course, hit the little bell and the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. We've got a lot of things coming out very soon. Donna's going to be doing some videos soon. I'm doing more videos. And of course, always, if you want to join us over at Cozy Coloring Corner at Coloritaville, we would be happy to have you there. Of course, fill out the application form in full and somebody will get you admitted as soon as possible. Other than that, thanks so much for coloring with me. Have a fantastic day and enjoy yourself, and always, always keep coloring. Bye-bye for now.